This is by far the most requested topic I get for the podcast, and the thing that comes up over and over again with every single woman that I work with. And that is how to navigate and maintain your friendships while you're struggling through infertility. One of the casualties of this journey are our relationships with both friends and family. It is so incredibly hard to watch people around you have their second or even their third baby while you are still so desperate to have your first. And as much as you try not to let it bother you, it changes these relationships completely. The problem is human connection is essential for regulating your nervous system, so it is something that we crave deeply, especially during hard times. Today on the podcast, I want to help you navigate this with clear boundaries, somatic tools, and energetic practices so that you can protect your own heart and rebuild safe support around you. Welcome to your journey to fertility. This is the podcast that blends science with spirit to give you all the tools you need as you navigate your fertility journey. I'm your host, Jennifer Edmonds, and for the last 15 years, I've been helping women on their journeys to motherhood and beyond. I believe that combining the latest scientific research along with the best energetic and mindset practices will help you to avoid putting your life on hold and bring you closer to your baby. Each week, you'll learn ways to support your fertility and trust your body so that you can stop stressing that you'll never have your baby and finally walk your path to motherhood. This is the Your Journey to Fertility podcast. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is a huge topic. It is by far the most requested topic that I get. It's probably the thing I get the most messages and emails and DMs around because it seems to be completely unavoidable. I don't know anyone out of the hundreds, probably even thousands of women that I've worked with at this stage who has managed to get through their fertility journey with their friendships unscathed. And I think that it affects us so much because on a very deep, basic human level, we need this human connection in order to feel calm and creative and whole. So today, what I want to do is really talk about how to both protect your own peace, which is so essential, as we know. We want to be able to reclaim your energy, but also reshape these friendships and give you some support strategies so that they can actually help you heal along this journey and along the way. And it is something that I struggled with a lot. I would love to be able to say that all of my friendships remained completely unscathed throughout my fertility journey, but they did not. And what I think the biggest problem is whenever I put up a social media post about wanting to, not go to a baby shower or just something around struggling with friendships on this journey, these are the posts that always get by far the most engagement, the most amount of comments, people are sharing them. But the thing that I find upsetting is that these are also the posts where I get the most amount of pushback from those who haven't been through infertility. And it's people saying things like, well, I don't understand why you can't get over yourself. Just be happy for me. I didn't do anything wrong. Why can't you just get over what's going on in your life for one day and come to my baby shower? And I think that the main thing is so clear time and time again is that unless you have been through this journey, you just don't get it. And that is so impossible to explain to someone. When I was about to go through my last round of IVF, we'd tried a bunch of fertility treatments to get to that point. And I remember sharing on a group chat with 3 close friends that I had known for like many, many years, decades. And I was just saying how sad I was that nothing had worked and we were referred back to IVF once again. And one of my close friends who's on that group chat, she had decided to have a baby around the same time that I had. And she was one of those people who she got pregnant the very first time that she tried. And at this stage, she was now onto her second. And the same thing had happened. And when I shared that I was so upset about having to go through IVF again, her response was to send me the pictures from her last ultrasound and explain to me how excited she was. And it just broke my heart in the moment. And she didn't understand. She didn't understand why that wasn't an inspiration for me or something that would cheer me up. And it seems so obvious. And I think a lot of people that, haven't been through this whole journey of infertility might look at a situation like that and say, maybe not the best thing to have shared or to, try to console someone with at the time and in the moment. But she certainly didn't get it. And it was around that time that I had to say to her, I need some space, and I'm sorry, I love you, and I'm happy for you, and I'm so excited for what's going on in your life, but it makes it really, really, really hard for me when that's the way that you support me. And she just didn't get it. And I think that, this was many years ago and our relationship has rebuilt, but during the process, I found it impossible to be around her. And it's so hard. Even now, it's bringing up so much emotion just thinking about it. So I want to talk to you today about why relationships are so crucial and important and why they trigger us so much. I think that it's important to also look at the different relationships in our lives. There are always going to be, your inner circle, there's going to be acquaintances, and how we navigate each of those different friendships and relationships that we have, and then give you some strategies to work around them. So let's start why this is such a huge thing. Human connection is essential to our survival. And that sounds really weird because, it's not like breathing or sleeping or eating. We don't think about our friendships and relationships as part of our survival. But back in days of being cavemen, when humans were evolving, if you didn't maintain good, close connections with other humans around you, you literally wouldn't have survived. You were left out of the tribe, out of the circle, and that means that your threat to your safety was imminent. And we like to think that we're very highly evolved and that we're so much smarter than our ancestors, but our nervous systems are not. So we can say to ourselves all we like, I'm fine on my own. I don't need to talk to anyone about this. I'm happy just to keep my own peace and go through it. And sure, that might work. But at the end of the day, you really do need human connection in order to come into regulation. And that is something that we forget. When we are going through tough times in our lives, if you think about back to stuff in high school and you're going through exams and you move into days of going to university and into your 20s and things come up like, I wanted this job or I lost this job, or we go through breakups, all of these tough things that we go through, our friends are there for us. They are the ones who are our support network. They're our chosen family. And it's like this beautiful support that we get to take through our lives. But then when we go through something like infertility, and I find often what happens is that, we're going through this at the same time as a lot of our friends are trying to start their families as well. The pain when those old coping strategies and those old support structures don't work anymore is incredibly traumatic. And it's not something that we ever see coming. I mean, no one sees infertility coming anyway. But to think that all of these wonderful, beautiful people that you had in your life are no longer going to be the people that you can rely on, that is crushing. And it really does create a lot of trauma within your own life. So I just want to acknowledge that. I want you to know that this is a big deal and you are not being overly dramatic. You are not asking too much. It really is something that costs us a lot. And that's why I think it is such an emotive topic and something that comes up so, so often. I feel like there are three categories, for lack of a better term, of friends or relationships when we are thinking about our lives and especially in relation to our fertility journey. So we're going to go through strategies to help navigate all of them. The first are friends, acquaintances, colleagues, family members that perhaps you don't see very often or you're not super close with, but they are people that you have in your life that you can't really avoid. They're going to be there anyway. And I find that often I'm sure there are wonderful people that you work with and that are in your family, but the ones that we're going to help you work around strategies to navigate are the ones that are going to trigger you. So it's the person at work that always says the wrong thing, or the distant cousin who fell pregnant with twins by accident, or, just any of the myriad things that happen that we can't avoid. These are the people that can't really support us in the way that we need, and we end up distancing ourselves from. And we realize that these are not the people that we need in our life, but we do need to deal with them in some way. The next group, and I find these are the people that really hit hard. They are the people that we thought we would be able to rely on when things get tough, but they are just not there for us in the way that we need. It is a very sad lesson that we learn the hard way. And I think everyone has been through this and can relate to it. These are the people that went through all of that stuff with you earlier in your life. They were there for the hard times. They were there for the fun times. You were there for so much. But for some reason, there is just something about this journey of you trying to build your family that they just don't get. And for some reason, they don't understand why you can't be happy for them and sad for yourself at the same time. And then the third group, this is kind of the hardest group of all. I find these are the close friends or family members that are there for you. They want to be there. They want to support you. They're the ones that are like, let's have the catch up. Let me, be that person to support you. Let me be there while you tell me everything that's going wrong. But they were blessed by the fertility gods and they had their families so easily. But you find it so hard to be around them. Just knowing what goes on in their life is incredibly triggering for you. And you want to share in their lives. You want to be able to be there for them as well. But you are so jealous and you are so resentful when they complain about things like, I didn't get any sleep last night because the baby was up so much. Or, I'm just really struggling to find time for my relationship now that the kids are here. All the things that you would love to have as a problem in your life. I think this group of people really present a lot of challenges as well. So, how do we start to manage all of this? First of all, I really want to point out that you are not a bad person for feeling the way that you do. Jealousy, resentment, guilt, whatever you are feeling, all of these emotions are valid. We have all heard these studies that show us that an infertility diagnosis really does produce the same amount of stress as someone who is given the diagnosis of a life-threatening illness. So it is a huge deal. It is something enormous that you are going through in your life. It is not to be taken lightly. We do talk about this a lot, but I really want you to give yourself some slack and give yourself permission to feel angry, to be upset, to know that this is so unfair and you deserve to feel supported and to get the help that you need on this journey. These are all emotions that are going to keep coming up anyway, so do not push them away. Otherwise, they are going to come back bigger and stronger, as I'm sure we well know. All right, so managing this first group, these are the people in your life that they trigger you. They are the peripheral people. You can't live without them, but you can't avoid them. They're always going to be around. I think it's okay to distance yourself from these people as much as possible. And that's going to be easier with some people than others. You are allowed to say no to things. You don't have to go to after work drinks every single time you're invited. You don't have to go to birthday parties for people when you would rather stay home. I give you permission to take that off your worry list. Take it off your list of stuff that is, plaguing you and running on in those thoughts in the background. You don't have to say yes to everything. You are absolutely allowed to protect your peace when it works. Be very clear if something that someone in this kind of group of people says to you upsets you. And I know that this is a huge mental load to bear, and I'm sure we've all seen the memes around, when someone asks you if you're going to have kids and you're like, do I trauma dump my fertility journey or do I just say, I don't know yet? So you can decide in the moment whether you really want to educate that person or you want to just kind of laugh it off and let it go. And I know that it's the temptation to just kind of sweep it to the side is really kind of easier in the moment, but then it plagues you later on. Or maybe you take that opportunity to say to that person, look, I am going through something really difficult. And these comments I find are really insensitive and really hurtful, and I'm really struggling to be around you. And you're going to have to, it's a person by person, case by case basis, and you're going to have to find what works for you. But it doesn't have to also be like this big confrontational moment either. You can be compassionate and you can be gentle in the way that you say it. But I do think if these are people in your life that you can't avoid, you do need to be clear with them, if you can, about what boundaries need to be set. And these people, I think maybe they're going to be compassionate, maybe they're not, but you do deserve a little bit of compassion in your life. And imagine if they were going through something, that was difficult for them, and you were constantly saying something to upset them. You'd want them to say so, and you would want to know so that you could support them. I like to assume that people have the best of intentions. I don't know if that is 100% true of everyone, but I like to hope that it is. So be gentle with how you approach it, but you really do deserve compassion. So ask for it when you need. So the second group, this is the hardest group to navigate and to manage, because these people, they really hit you at your core, don't you? It is such a slap in the face when you thought they were going to be there for you. We find this comes up with close family members as well, whether it's a sister or a cousin or a sister-in-law. And again, if you're around the same age, it's likely that you are trying to start your own journey at the same time they are. And if they're building their family easily and you're not, and you're expected to be there for them, there is so much resentment on both sides. They are likely to be resentful that you are not happy for them. You can try and explain to them. You can speak to them gently. I find that perhaps doing this one-on-one, sending them an email or just a text, or really get your thoughts out in a coherent way rather than reacting in the moment, is a better way to approach this. But sometimes they're still not going to be happy with what you're saying. And they're still going to think, well, you still need to get over yourself because this is my journey and I deserve to be happy as well. It's really hard. The first strategy I think is important is to think about what you're seeing on social media. And we can, if you're happy to avoid social media, great. Delete it from your phone. If you can do that, if you don't need it in your life, don't have it there. If it triggers you, we don't need it. But if it is something that you use for work or that you use to just keep in contact with other people you don't see very often, or it's something you enjoy, you can really curate your feed to show you things that aren't going to upset you. So you can mute all these people. You don't have to unfriend them, unfollow them, whatever it might be. But be really conscious about what you are feeding yourself and your nervous system on a daily basis, because getting triggered every time you open any social media app isn't doing anyone any favors. Like I mentioned with that first group, it is okay to skip events. If you really can't show up for that baby shower or that 1-year-old's birthday party or whatever it might be, it is okay to skip it. Most of the time, maybe if it's your sister, maybe not. But if it is something that you can possibly avoid, just give yourself permission to not go. You can say that you're unwell. You can send a gift. If it's something that you can, possibly talk to someone else who is going and say to them, look, maybe you can help explain why I can't be there even though I want to. Just, again, give yourself that permission if it's going to really upset you not to go. However, if you do have to go, if you do have to see that person, I know that sometimes these situations are unavoidable. There are some strategies that you can use beforehand. And I know that this is a huge mental load to have to do the things that I'm about to tell you. It's a lot, but it's going to help. It's going to help everyone. So it's worth mentioning. Go armed to this event, ready with a list of things to talk about. So if someone that you haven't seen for a while comes up to you and they're like, oh, hey, what's going on? What's been happening in your life? Inevitably, the things that we always come to is relationships, jobs, where you're living, and children. If you are, in that position, was always the thing that comes up. So if you know that these are the conversations that are likely to come up at these events, Have a bunch of talking points ready to go, whether it's travel, whether it's a new job you're applying for, something you know about someone else that's exciting that's happening in their life. Have these talking points ready to go so you can steer the conversation away from things that are going to upset you. I also recommend taking a support person with you. So if you've got that buddy who gets you, who's on your side, who's going to be there, they can go with you. They can be your buffer. They can step in if you know that someone is likely to say something triggering. You can be like, I'm just going to go to the bathroom, and hopefully your support person can step in and take over that conversation, steer it away from things that are going to be triggering. And the third thing I want to mention here is to fill up your cup before you go. So you think about your nervous system regulation as like a big cup. So what can we do to fill it up before we go to these events that are likely going to deplete us and have us feeling really empty afterwards? So what does that look like for you? Maybe it is spending a morning with your partner, going for a walk outside, doing stuff you love, walking the dogs, exercise you enjoy, whatever it is, just have something on before you have to go to these events that is going to make you feel good. So you're not heading into those situations from a really depleted state. With this certain group of people, I love to come back to that concept of privacy is peace. It's okay to be really careful about what you share with them. And if you still want this person in your life, or you have to have them in your life because they're your close family, and you think that, once your family building journey is over, once you've had your children, you think that you probably can get past some of the things that have happened along the way where they have upset you, just know that you're going to have to find others to confide in the meantime. These are not going to be your people that you come to. And that's really hard to hear, I know, but I want you just to know, okay, these are not the people that are going to support me. And be really, really careful about what you do tell them, because you don't want them to react in the wrong way. So just know that they're your people that you're going to be sharing other things about within this time. You don't have to be okay with it, but I think it has to be something that you know is what is happening in your life. If they stop inviting you to things because they don't want to upset you, or they just think you're going to say no again, this is really hard, and it's so nuanced. And this happened to me as well. It got to the point where people are like, well, I'm not even going to invite you to that group dinner because you've said no to the last 4 of them. So I don't think you wanted to be there. I hear this all the time. And like I said, it happened to me. Ultimately, if they can't see your perspective, if they can't come around to the fact that this is really upsetting and really hard for you, then maybe right now, this isn't a relationship that's worth your time. And that's really hard to hear. And I think that honestly, this is an instance where you have to decide to step back and limit your interactions. And they're not your people right at this moment in time. Maybe those relationships are ones that you're going to come back to in the future. Maybe things will be different, but that is a really hard truth to hear. But you have to put yourself first. You have to find a way to let them live their lives as they are. You can't change people. You can't change the things that they're going to say. You can't change the way they feel or the way they're going to react. You have to let them. And you have to decide then what you're going to do about it. And perhaps stepping back is what you need at this time. And just remind yourself of all the other people in your life who are there for you at this time, who do get it, and you can focus your energy on them. Now, the third group, and this is really tricky because these are the people who are there for you, but they trigger you just because they have what you want. And they can't help that. That's not their fault either. And I think when you are in this position where you're navigating those types of friendships and relationships, there are 3 questions that you need to ask yourself before you put all of your time and attention and energy into that relationship. So the first question is this a friendship that's really worth saving and putting time and effort into? Everyone is busy. Everyone who has children of their own has a million things going on in their lives, but they do still need to be sensitive and compassionate to you. And people that say things like, oh, you're so lucky you get to sleep in on the weekends, or, you don't even have to worry about, the expenses of having kids and the strain it puts on your relationship, all these things. If they are not the people that say all of these things to you, then great. If you know that they are willing, that they are the relationships that you are willing to put the time and effort into, amazing. The second question is the effort of maintaining this friendship worth what you get from the relationship? So, think about your life before infertility. Was this a friendship that really filled up your cup? So if that is the answer to that is yes, then again, this is something you're going to have to work and put the time and effort into. And the third question is, does this person actually understand what you're going through? So it may seem obvious. And I look at my friends who have not been through infertility, but they've been through other difficult things in their lives, whether it's illness or relationship issues or financial problems or children with special needs, whatever it might be. I don't find it hard to look at their lives and think they need support and compassion around those areas. And I'm their friend, and of course I want to give it to them. So is this person in your life one of those people for you? Do they actually want to understand and put effort into knowing what you're going through? So if you assume they do, but then they keep giving you examples that they don't, and question whether you really want to put the time and effort in. So go through those questions and ask yourself, is this still a person that I want in my life? So if it is, this is what you're going to do. The first thing is that we have to be incredibly clear about the impact that this journey of infertility or IVF or whatever it is you're going through is having on your life. And if they are a really awesome friend, and you've decided that they are, so let's hope so, they'll understand that some things are going to be off limits to talk about. For example, you can say to them, look, I'd love to have dinner, but I can't talk about children tonight. I can't go through the motions of pretending that I'm okay. And you can say that, I'm really sorry and I understand that's a big part of your life, but just for tonight, I can't speak about that. Be really, really clear. And, the variations of our journey, there are going to be days where things are harder than others, especially if you've just found out that a test result is negative or you've just lost a pregnancy. There's going to be times where you're more triggered and upset than others. And I think these people really need to be informed so that they can support you when they have to be. I like to really be clear with what you need from them. So say, I would love it if you would just text me once a week and check in. Even if I don't reply, and I don't mean to, but the mental load of having to send another message is really hard for me. But knowing that you're there and thinking about me means the world, and it makes my life so much better. So ask for what you need and be really clear about what you're going through. The second thing, and it might be, you have to kind of accept that your relationship, it might be a bit awkward for a while. And you both need to be okay with that. So it's very hard for me to think, well, one of the biggest parts of my life these days is that I have children, and that is it's everything. So to catch up with my close friends and not speak about it is a bit strange for me. But I do have people in my life who are struggling with infertility. All of my students, I don't get onto calls and coaching calls with them or group classes and start talking about my kids. And that's okay. I don't need to, because I'm there to support them. And the other friends that I have in my life who are struggling with infertility, I just know there are other things that I'm going to speak about. And that's okay. It's, sure, it's a big part of my life and it's a bit strange not to speak about it, but we need to be all right with that. So your friends that have kids, they need to be okay with it too. So just there's going to be that little awkward box. We're going to put it to the side and know that you're going to come back to it eventually. And everyone needs to just be okay with that. The third thing here that I really want to point out is that, a relationship and a friendship is a two-way street. And as much as your compassionate friends who have children don't want to trigger you, their life isn't their fault. And the fact that they have what you want isn't really, isn't something that you can say, well, I have no part in this. This friendship is going to be a give and a take. So you need to be there for them as well. Like, friendships cannot be completely one-sided. If you want them in your life and they're going through something difficult and it relates to their family or their children, you've got to be there for them. And I know that that is really difficult, but there is give and take. And gosh, like, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution here, is it? Every situation and every relationship is going to be so nuanced and so different. So keeping all of this in mind is incredibly helpful, but it isn't going to be perfect and you're not going to get it right every single time. But having all of these things as a baseline is incredibly important and helpful. It's also worth noting that a lot of these relationships with these categories that I've put these people into, it's not quite that clear cut. A lot of these friendships are going to all overlap. And of course, we have a lot of communal friends that all know each other. So this is also going to be really hard to deal with, and it's going to have to be a case-by-case basis. So as always, give yourself some slack, know who you can confide in, know that it's not always going to be easy, but just have some strategies there in place for when you need them. Now, to finish off this episode today, I want to give you some general energetic and somatic tools that you can use both in the moment when you are feeling very triggered and things that you can do more daily to really protect yourself, protect your peace and your energy, and just make your life a little bit easier. We talk about these things so often in the podcast, but they cannot be said enough. So I've got 4 things that I want to go through with you. The first is to come back to all of your regulating tools. I talk about this concept of your toolbox all of the time on the podcast. So know what is in your toolbox. Getting up, seeing the sun in the morning, going for a walk, having a practice that helps you, whether it's a meditation practice, whether you have all of those like little rituals that you want to do to start your morning or to finish your day with that help you prepare for sleep. All of these things. For me, it was making time every single day to come to my yoga mat. And if this is something that you've heard me speak about a lot on the podcast and you'd like to try it for yourself, I have a free fertility yoga guide that you can download, and it gives you several beautiful practices that you can come to each and every day. They're between 10 to 20 or 30 minutes. So they're very simple, very easy to fit into your schedule. Find the link to that in the show notes if you want to download that and add something else into your toolbox. The second is an energetic practice that we call cutting the cord. And this is a practice that you can do in the moment, but I find it is easier to do when you have a little bit of space or time to yourself, where you can get quiet, close your eyes, tune inwards, take a few deep breaths, and visualize all of the energy that is being pulled from your body, from a situation or a person or whatever it might be. And visualize this as literally a cord connecting you to that person or that situation. And once we have felt all of the energy that is being pulled and drained from us, we imagine that we are cutting that cord. So whether you want to get a big pair of scissors and just literally chop it right in the moment and feel all of that energy being released back towards you. So I think this is a really wonderful practice to do. At the same time, you can repeat the mantra, I reclaim my energy, I reclaim my peace, and do it until you feel a shift. You really feel like you have brought all of that attention that you've been putting elsewhere back inwards. It's incredibly powerful. When you're in the moment, the third thing I want to talk about here is ways to really protect yourself if you are with a person who is triggering you. So things like crossing your ankles or crossing your legs or crossing your arms over your body is a wonderful way to really signal to your nervous system that you are protecting yourself physically. And whether it's just for 30 seconds to a minute, wrap your arms across your solar plexus, which is at the very, very base of your chest, and give yourself that feeling of really drawing your energy physically inwards. Sounds really simple, but it really makes a difference in the moment. Now, the fourth thing that I want to do is give you a very short visualization exercise to do. You can't do this really in the moment with someone. Perhaps you could, but it works better if you can really take some time and go through it. So this might be something that you want to save and come back to. If you are in a place to do so at the moment where you're listening to this and you've got some time to lie down, sit down, close your eyes, get comfortable, do so. So what I want you to do is get yourself into a place where you can be completely relaxed. Close your eyes or soften your gaze as much as you can. You're going to take 3 slow, deep breaths. Really lengthening out that exhale, just slowing everything down around you. Now imagine a warm golden light glowing from the very center of your chest. And with every inhale, that light is going to grow a little bit brighter. And with every exhale, you feel that light really drawing into your heart center and filling up your heart, starting to expand so it fills the space up around your shoulders, your chest, right down to your belly. Just see that light growing stronger and bigger outwards until it forms a really gentle shield around you. Look like a big bubble, this ball of glowing light, and just feel how safe you are inside that light. I want you to say quietly to yourself now, I am safe. I reclaim my energy. I am safe. I reclaim my energy. I want you to breathe slowly 3 more times and really keep that focus on that light all around you. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes and just carry that warmth with you for a few more moments. So this is something that you might want to do before you know you're about to go into a place where someone that has triggered you is going to be there. Something you can use before you go into an appointment with a doctor as well. Having that energetic shield up is very, very powerful. The last thing I want to note before we finish this episode is that it is really worth finding a community of people who get it when you're going through something like infertility. Because like we have said over and over again, if you haven't been through it, you don't understand. And we are lucky that at the moment there are so many incredible resources and support groups that you can find online. And I would love for you to join so many of the support groups that I have as well. Come and follow my social media channels. Join one of my support programs and be surrounded by an amazing community of women who get it. This is a big episode. And I get so emotional speaking about all of these things because it is, it came up over and over again in situations that I never, ever saw coming. So I hope that you have found this episode helpful. Remember, you can leave me a voice note if you want to just share all of your takeaways or what you're going through. If you just need to vent to someone or get it off your chest, let me be that support person for you today. Let me be your regulating tool if you need it. There's a link to the little voice note app that I have in the show notes so you can have a look down and send me whatever you would like me to know. Now, if you did find this helpful, I would love it if you could share this episode with someone who might be struggling as well. And if you want more regulating tools on this journey, if you really want to start being able to support yourself in a beautiful, calm way in the comfort of your own home, please have a look at my fertility, yoga, meditation, and breathwork course. You will find links to all of those in the show notes as well. Now, next week, we are going to be speaking about the one thing that shifted the course of my fertility journey more than anything else. If you feel like you have been always looking for the next thing or the next doctor or the next miracle supplement to help you, then this is the episode you need to hear. It is going to be a total reframe of everything that you think you need and will help you start looking in the exact right place. So until then, I am sending you all of my wishes as you continue your own journey to fertility.